So, Bant Super Friends, this is a deck that we've played a few times on stream before. Has a lot of parallels to blue-white control, but it plays Sakura-Tribe Elder, kind of ramp into our Planeswalkers a little bit faster, and then it's got Gideon of the Trials and Nissa Vastwood Seer to supplement our Jace the Mind Sculptors and our Teferis. What do I think of Pauper? It's like this weird Legacy Light format where you have a lot of the same answers and cantrips, but you don't have a lot of the same threats. Which is, it's a weird dynamic for Magic format, because usually the threats are better than the answers a lot of the time, at least by a little bit, and in Pauper that's just not the case for the most part. Give a shout out to all the people at Elemental Games. What's going on, Elemental Games? Thanks for the 6 months, Rain Spider. I appreciate the half a year. They're shipping your Bezo bucks this way. Afternoon, Bionic. Howdy, folks. But we're into having a good weekend. I might do a little bit of a medium length stream today, like a normal length stream, I guess. And do like 4 decks, I think. See how long these take. If two of them go long, I might only do 3. I'm gonna do at least 3, I think. College graduate, that's exciting. Found a combo that draws the game in standard. All the combos fit into a controlled deck. Specifically blue red. I want to see how Arena reacts to a draw. Maybe I'd play that. We have registered Hallowed Fountain. This deck has a little bit more win conditions than typical blue-white control, though, because it has Gideon and Nissa and Courser, and then it's got Tracker out of the sideboard. All right, looking for lands or Terminus. Moving along. Blessed Alliance, Purge, Click Tracker. We bring in the threats here just because the best way to beat the burn deck is to kill them. So we're going to just like work on ending the game as fast as possible. So bringing in extra ways to do that is ideal. Trim these more expensive answers. Terminus can be like powerful in some spots, but like not having control over it's kind of bad here, especially when we're boarding in more creatures join in the game. Thanks, Pekin. I appreciate it. Yeah, no worries. You can have 2 streams on at once. I'm sure there'll be plenty of downtime at the Grand Prix. Is this keepable? I think this is keepable. It's got a path to Exile for their first threat, and then it gets to go click into Jace. Maybe Cryptic Command. Jace is actually really good at helping stabilize these types of games. Not only can he dig us to our answers, but like if he eats a bolt, that's okay with us, and like fate sealing them once their hand is empty is generally pretty good. Makes it harder for them to like peel that last burn spell and kill us. Yep. Just gonna fetch a basic planes and path this. Ramping them feels a little bit medium, but is what it is. Yeah, a lot of the times when I stream on the weekend, I wait for the major events to finish, but because SCG's in Vegas this weekend, I'd have to stream way too late to stream after them, and I wanted to stream some this weekend, so I figured I might as well just go up against the big kids. The modern numbers are kind of medium anyway, so it's like whatever. What is that? You can always find deck lists in my deck queue. The decks that we're playing today have been sorted to the top. Getting close to a sword. Gorbatron, thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. So, because I have this Flooded Grove and I boarded out my Cryptic Command, I think I'm actually getting a Plains with this. In case I draw a Gideon, because Gideon's very good in this matchup, so I want to make sure he's castable. I guess you could argue I could fetch if I drew Gideon, but I think that's fine too. You're a very charming opponent. So they have a Rift Bolt suspended. I think I'm probably just going to go ahead and Jace and then plus here. Yeah, especially having drawn Time Warp. Like, we get a couple of Jace activations next turn, potentially. Path to Exile. I think I'm going to bottom that. They had a creature, they would have played it last turn, because creature gets in damage ASAP. If Jace just gains 6 here, I think I'm okay with that, too. Yep, they're coming after me, which makes a lot of sense. You're excited for Jund Singleton, how much to bump it to next? The rules are always, if you want to change the order or cut into the order that I have today, a deck has to get to 100 points. So Jund Singleton's currently at 75 points, so if you want it to be the second deck instead of the third, it would be a $25 donation. Of course, you can also wait and be patient, and it's going to get played today guaranteed, but I guess, assuming nobody else cuts anything else, it's very likely to get played today. Alright, so I'm going to put these 2 lands back. And I'm going to fetch an island, and then I'm going to Time Warp. I'm not going to say no to your money, but I am going to tell you that we will get to it most likely. Boop. The price is high to discourage people from rearranging it, because I'm someone who likes to have a schedule, but I'm also just like realistic in that, you know, for the right amount of money, I'll disrupt my schedule. Rolling Taters, Twitch Daves or something else. Thanks for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Logic Knot's a good pickup here. I have 4 cards in hand. I'm at 10. I have a Path. I have a Snapcaster. I'm watching your vids. Finally got by to touch in my Twitch friends. Well, I appreciate that. Glad you've been enjoying the YouTube stuff. Man, what do I want to put back here? So I'm pretty sure I want to play field, and then island, field, cast, search for Azcanta. And then the real question is, what card do I want to get rid of? I don't really want this up, right? I want to hold Logic Knot and Path up this turn. So I'm going to go ahead and put these 2 back like this, so that way my search for Azcanta can bin the opt and flip my search next turn, ideally. And then if my search flips, I'll have 7 lands, so we can then snap Time Warp. I do have basics left in my deck currently. We have 3 islands, 2 forests, I believe. If it's 3/2/2, yeah, 3/2/2. So we have 7 basics total. Boros Charm. This Logic Out, like, isn't getting better than this. Just, like, gaining 4 is, like, as good as it gets. It means my search doesn't flip next turn, but I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, we play 4 copies of Sakura-Tribe Elder, so you need basics to get with Sakura-Tribe Elder. Otherwise, your Steves have diminishing returns very quickly. I'm here for Sapping Time Warp in Modern, aren't we all? They brought in Destructive Revelry. Well, if we make it to game 3, I'm going to sideboard out Azcanta. It's like 0% chance I want Destructive Revelry to be live against me. I guess it kills Courser too. That's more awkward. Yeah, Modern's always been obnoxious. So we need a land and one of these 2 cards underneath it. Perfect. It's even a land that doesn't hurt us. Let's do the time warp again. So we only played 23 lands because of Sakura-Tribe Elder. So remember, Sakura-Tribe Elder is basically a mana source. So like, even you could probably even argue like the 27 lands that I'm playing now effectively is like high, but we have opt and stuff to like filter through it as well, which helps. Yeah, of course, Botbos, I got you. Woof. All right, so there's 2 clicks on top of my deck. I'm actually gonna opt past the click before I draw with Jace. All right, sweet. And then Nissa actually lets me shuffle my Jace Brainstorm. That's really good. That's like incredibly good. Wow. Put this back, put this back. Man, do they have a bolt here? If they bolt Nissa in response, I actually get to Field of Rune them and flip her in response, which would just be absurd for us. So please bolt my Nissa in response. Path. Man, they boarded really strange. I guess, they actually didn't board strange. We played Temple Garden and conceded game 1. So we looked like a very different deck. So I don't think my opponents really made a mistake here. In my opponent's defense, we looked like an incredibly different deck game 1. I mulliganed, I played a Temple Garden, I conceded. So I think their plays actually make a lot of sense in the context of what they saw. I was thinking like, we're a control deck, why did they board like this? But from what they saw, it doesn't seem unreasonable for the cards that they brought in. We did get them with the onboard trick there though, so that felt good. That was one we did in Standard quite often. So I think at this point, we just start Fate Sealing them. Yeah, 10 out of 10, just start Fate Sealing them. Keep that one. Keep that one right where it is. Excellent. We're done here. All right, that was the easy one. The game on the play is the easy one. This is the hard one now. Hooray, friends! Fold into 1. Thank you for the 5 months. Welcome back. Hey, appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Thoughts on the decency of Thousand Year Storm in Standard? I've not played any of the combo-focused Thousand Year Storm decks yet. I think there's one towards the top of the queue. We're probably going to get to it on Tuesday. It looks like Tuesday is going to be Sarkin Dinos, Black-Green Reanimator, Esper Amulet, and Thousand Year Storm. This hand's pretty good. It sucks that I'm going to have to fetch Shock to get a green source, but the rest of the cards in this hand are quite fantastic. I think leaving them in is fine. I also think there's like a non-zero chance my opponent might readjust how they're sideboarded because of the deck that we are. Awkward. So, because I drew Sunpetal Grove, I think I'm actually going to... I think I'm actually going to play this Flooded Strand Am I? So what I do here is I have a couple choices. I could just like bless up and hit my... I could bless up again 4 off of like Flooded Strand, crack for whatever. I could try and ambush in Snapcaster Mage. I could fetch shock and play Sakura-Tribe Elder. Like, is fetch shocking worth getting Steve into play? It's like there's no guarantee that the Snapcaster Mage kills this Goblin Guide next turn. I think I'm fetch shocking and putting Steve into play. Lets me get my second blue online for this Vendilion click. Develops my mana. Lets me like play 2 mana spells next turn. So like next turn I can Alliance plus Sakura-Tribe Elder. You and the NDA is left today for Artifact. I believe it is 4 p.m. PST in Decium. So 4 hours, 5 hours from now. Sorry. I believe it's 5 hours from now. That's also part of the reason why I fired up now, because I wanted to watch some of that tonight. Yeah, the Sakura-Tribe. And honestly, that's why, so like this deck, I think it's probably worse than straight blue-white control on average, but it has some play to it too, because like Sakura-Tribe Elder goes a long way to like smoothing out some of the issues that blue-white control has, I think. Just like, it's an archetype that's like full of incredibly expensive spells, so like being able to cast those spells sooner is a big deal on average. Isn't that a little bit odd? Their whole pre-release thing has been just a giant cluster for that game. Their whole beta has just been a hot mess of nonsense. They've really managed it very poorly, in my opinion. So I would kind of like to draw this Logic Knot, but not enough to take 2 damage. So I'm gonna go ahead and sack this and get an Island here. Island is your land, Island is my land. Next turn, I can bless up and have them sacrifice an attacking creature. We gain 4, all while negating a Skullcrack. If they have double crack, we get got, but if they have double crack, it's like, whatever, fine, kill me. Boros Charm, I would like to negate this now. Hey, thanks for the tip, Mathematic, I appreciate it. My dashboard for Grixis Shadow with Mausoleum Secret. Sounds good. Thanks for the support. So now, because of the way this is sequenced out, I'm actually going to go ahead and Blessed Alliance myself now. Because if they want to Skullcrack me, I can snap negate the Skullcrack. And like, if they had a Skullcrack, would they have played it there? Does anybody know? Do we put them on having Skullcrack? I don't know. Like, so if they crack either of these fetch lines at end of turn, I'm just like snapping Blessed Alliance. They didn't flinch, chat. So the reason why their NDA is being dropped now, I think, is because their whole thing has just been super delayed. So I'm gonna flash this in, target Blessed Alliance. Honestly, I might just... I'm gonna try and block. If they let the trade happen, we'll let the trade happen. But if they, like, kill my Snapcaster Mage, I'll make them sack an attacking creature. Alright, so did you have crack, or is this game over? If they have crack here... If they don't have crack here, this game's probably over. They could have had crack last turn and just, like, obviously I had a counterspell up. Boros Charm, sure. Sure. Deal. And go get a forest. I'm gonna crack this fetch land. I'd love to flip this over. Deckmaster does not work for Magic Online. as a Magic Arena only thing. How do we feel about just clicking them now? I think I want to just click them now. Yeah, you might have to refresh for Stream Decker. It wasn't loaded when I started the stream. Oh, would you look at that? You can keep those. I missed my Friday, bitch. What's going on, Sean? Keep those ones right where they are. All right. All right. It's a good start. That game was a good example of like this deck not being just worse than blue-white control, right? Like the Sakura-Tribe Elders and ultimately Nissa like really helped us close that game out. Thanks for the Woody Sword. I promise not to stick it anywhere irresponsible. Thank you for the 6-month resub, Lost Lurgoy. And at the tier 3 level, I really appreciate that absurd amount of support. Remember, tier 3 subs can still add new decks to the queue through the slow. You just submit it through the normal form as always. Or if there's something already in the queue you'd like to bump up, you can drop me a private message as always. Yeah, I am testing out YouTube comments again, Nivik. It's been a long time since I've had comments enabled on all of my videos. And I was doing some research after something someone mentioned to me, which is that YouTube prioritizes promoting channels that have likes and comments on videos. So I'm going to see if having YouTube comments enabled for, I think I'm going to do 2 weeks to a month, increases the amount of traffic that my videos gets. Because the last time I turned comments off, it was because the YouTube just wasn't making enough money. YouTube makes some money now, and if that amount of revenue can go up from having comments on, then it's probably worth moderating. So I'm going to approach it like I approach everything else, which is in a data-driven manner. So if you want to help me test my theory, like and comment on my YouTube videos. That's what everybody says, right? So the videos from last night have comments enabled on them. I'm not going back and enabling comments on my last 800 videos. Hey, Rolling Taters, thanks for the bits. I appreciate it. So my videos starting from yesterday for the next at least 2 weeks, I'm going to enable comments on them and see if that impacts my revenue at all. Yeah, I was looking through YouTube auto moderation settings, and I added a bunch of reasonable default words that I never want to see in a comment on my YouTube channel to the auto filter list. So hopefully that should cross out a lot of the bad ones. Have you tried out that standard deck? I have not, G-Butts. I've not played the mono blue Dredge deck. Remind me to smash that like button. Yeah, I never encourage people to really interact with my YouTube stuff. It's always just kind of been there. So I'm interested to see if the channel grows faster. So like if YouTube refers it to more people, it could be more subscribers on there, which turns into more people on Twitch and vice versa, etc. Yeah, I didn't filter out swear words specifically. I filtered out words that, let's say, unpleasant people tend to like to use. Nice, Goth. I mean, honestly, at least for me as a player, in events where I learn a bunch about the deck that I'm playing, honestly feel more productive to me than the ones where I just win or lost. What's going on, Kana? Thanks for dropping by today. I'm interested to see what our numbers are like today. There's a Grand Prix and the Star City going on, but my deck queue has too many decks in it, so I didn't want to just take the entire weekend off. Yeah, I think there's a number of people that end up coming to Twitch through the YouTube channel. So I think if I'm able to grow the YouTube channel by having comments on there. It's probably worth doing because it brings more people to Twitch. Like, I know I have there's a number of people who send their Twitch Prime to me here on Twitch, even though they only ever watch on YouTube. They like pop in while I'm. There's probably going to be a lot of that full on tilt. I plan to ban and block plenty of people who are obnoxious. We'll see. Maybe, like, our chat got to a decent spot pretty quickly. So, like, maybe YouTube comments will be similar. And if there's issues, I'll just, like, ban and block enough people that it'll get reasonable pretty quickly. There is a way to have other people moderate comments. I'm actually not sure how bad it's going to be. Maybe I'm overreacting and it's just going to be fine. It's been a while, like I said. And I, as a person, have, as a human being, I am capable of experiencing personal growth. And looking back on Def Not Nivik Sisters Prime, I forgot about this account. Glad I caught it in time. Thanks, Nivik. I appreciate the 5 months. Appreciate you logging in to do that over there, too. Afternoon Dersushi. Yeah, so, you know, maybe it's not as bad as I thought I was, and I was definitely more abrasive as a person. One of the biggest growing points that I've had as a person, of really a very important thing to remember is, and this is something that I forgot in my recent internet debacle, is that sometimes being right doesn't matter, and life is too short and you need to move on. There's definitely, as someone who's very technically inclined and very mathematically focused and based, it's not, sometimes the fact that you're right just isn't worth it. Doesn't mean it's worth a hill to die on. Not a hill worth dying on. Heard this one of your videos. How do you feel about Vana the Butcher in the sideboard of Esper? We actually played an Esper deck that had some Vanas in the board, and she seemed really sweet. I like having ways to actually kill people in the control decks, and just Chromium's probably not enough. And Vana is a fixed target problem card as well, which is sweet. What was it? Mark Twain put it best. I believe it was Mark Twain. Best not argue with a fool because onlookers oft won't be able to tell the difference between the two of you. Just a good mindset to have. Some very smart dead people. What do you think's the most slept on card in Standard? Does Treasure Map count? Like, Treasure Map was in the sideboard of the mono red deck, but I feel like it's still underplayed in the format. Never wrestle a pig in mud. You'll both get dirty and the pig will like it. That's another good one. That's another good one. Just gonna get rid of this. Maybe I'm just supposed to leave that there and like hope to peel a Terminus. It could be that I'm supposed to leave that there and just try to peel a Terminus. Because, like, it's not that much pressure. Under pressure. Bum, 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 ba-da-dum, bum. It's a pretty decent hit. No 3-drop for us is good. I stand up for a bit. I did legs at the gym this morning, so I'm a little bit sore, but I've also been sitting in my chair for a little bit here too, so. Is my favorite part about streaming starting in the afternoon. I have time to go to the gym in the morning. MTGO have a screen to show which game / match you're playing. You can see which match you're playing in your league, but I don't believe there's one to show the current game. There is a singleton deck in the queue. Alright. That's not a Terminus. Also not a Terminus. Did I accept that deck for the regular amount? You can answer that question yourself as a heads up, because there's a column showing how much money someone spent to put a deck in the queue. And to answer your question, no. No is the answer to your question. Yeah, they said there were a lot of performance optimizations in this latest build, which I tried to install Arena on my Lenovo Yoga, and it ran pretty poorly on it, so I might give it another try if this latest build has good performance optimizations like they said. So I'll get a basic plains with the Sakura-Tribe Elder, and then next turn we can jam Lad Chad plus a tapped land, and then the following turn we can Time Warp. What should I play instead? You could just like put Tecatli Honor Guard in the main deck, probably, Coma Cake. It's a pretty decent metagame card. There's still enough green block in the format, other fringe things that it hates on, I think. Alright. Pretty much binning anything that's not a Terminus. Got 4 of those in our deck. Let's find them. Maybe I'll keep Opt. Yeah, if I have an Opt on top, I'll keep that one. Opt on top. Mom pop shop. Opt on top. Opt on top, chat. Opt on top. Opt on top. Opt on top. Toot toot toot. Toot toot toot. Yeah, if you're not into limited, it's probably less exciting playing Arena without putting money in. Goodbye. Womp womp. I guess I should play this Flooded Strand out because it puts the 6 card in my bin. So that means if there isn't a sweeper on top of my deck, I get to kill them. I get to flip Azcanta. Not kill them. Flip Azcanta, sorry. Listen, Ketter, I've got like 40 modern decks in the queue. We gotta work our way through. Baby Drake dude too. He's a good little Drake, okay? We're dead in 2 here, right? So they're attacking for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 here. So we're trying to dodge Meddling Mage, because Meddling Mage on Terminus is lights out here. So this gives them 4 looks at Meddling Mage. They have this pesky Aether Vial. I'd have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for your pesky kids. Maybe they'll put it on Time Warp. Maybe they'll be really bad and put it on Time Warp. Yeah, they can respond to the Miracle Trigger by vialing and Meddling Mage. I'm aware how the game works if they're good at Magic, chat. Come on now. The blue-white control deck doesn't win when your opponent's good at Magic, though. I'm actually not going to transform this because I want to look with it again next turn. All right, that's the draw I needed. Oh, no, this just means they put it on Time Warp now, right? Yeah, so now, wait, what? Oh, they're taking Time Warp, got it. But the Terminus deck is so good against the creature deck. Humans can never beat us. Vendilion Click's pretty okay here because it trades in combat with, what's this called? Celestial Purge is fine. Blessed Alliance is fine. Maybe Click's not good enough. Oh, that doesn't do anything more. More not. There was a Thalion play, which made my path cost 2 and my Time Warp cost 6. No, Stony's pretty bad here. You don't want to board in Stony just to counteract Aether Vial. Like, Aether Vial's annoying for you, but the important thing to remember when you're playing the interactive deck against humans is that Aether Vial is card disadvantage for them. Like, it accelerates them, but it actually puts them down a card. So generally, you just want to ignore the vials. All right. Get Oust of here. Get Oust of here. Ousting Mana Dork's just like good clean living. So like have to redraw that Noble Hierarch on turn 3 now. Enjoy drawing your pooper. Sure. Well, they're not a ghost unless they're one of them fancy future ghosts. Future ghosts are just the worst. Alright, so I'm going to draw step, field them. And the reason why I'm going to field them during the draw step is because I know there's a Noble Hierarch on top of their deck, and I'd like them to draw a Noble Hierarch. They were ghosting the top card of our deck. We didn't even know we were drawing, chat. They were watching the stream in the future. There's no such thing as a future ghost, chat. Come on now. That's the joke. Ghost of Christmas Future. No attack is weird. Well. Sure. One can stay right there. Oh no! Oh no! Chat! Oh no! Man, they always know what the top card of our deck is, chat. How are they so lucky? How are they so lucky? Stop interacting with me, opponent. It's not what this format's about. Why you have to be so interactive? Why? Why must you hurt me like this? Yeah, they have the first ones on path. They knew twice. They know what's up. They ain't noobs. They know what's on top of my deck. X is dos. 2. Slide this one right on out. So I get to explosives, the mages, path, the champion, and then we're in a pretty decent spot. I got these Sakura-Tribe Elders that aren't doing a whole heck of a lot, but got a Cryptic Command left over. I guess they have 5 cards in their hand, which is a little scary. Boop him. Boop him on the nose. Bye, friends. A lot of these human decks have two basics in them now. They have like an island and a plains. Explicitly for the path field of rune decks. No! The greed has consumed you, opponent. The greed has consumed you. Well, that's a pretty good second threat for them to have. Alright, so do I want to... I think I want to shuffle the Mind Sculptor, try and hit a land on top of my deck. I guess the Mind Sculptor's probably okay here. Yeah, look at that. The Jace came back. The very next card, oh, the Jace came back. They thought he was gone, but the Jace came back. They knew he wouldn't stay away. Hey, hey, hey. Plot twist, Jeff is the future ghost. Ooh. Spooky. I come from the future. You're scurred? You should be scurred. It's very scurry. Scurry times are upon us, chat. Bought a mattress from Lisa through your link. I don't know if you get notifications, but I'm excited to finally sleep with Lisa. Well, thank you for the resub, Rod, and for checking out the sponsor. The mattresses are great. Foam mattresses in general are just A+, and Lisa's very good. It makes me sad, opponent. Why must you take my toys away and make me incredibly sad? Maybe the Sculptor of Minds will help us find a Terminus. Jace plus Courser is kind of a thing. So that's I believe an engine, as the kids would explain. ADHE's nuts. Thank you for the Twitch Prime, I guess. Man, Twitch usernames or something else. Alright, let's flip this bad mama over. I felt like I had to stop. Thank you for the Twitch Prime. I had to stop reading your username midway though. Sorry. So I could have played the land off the top, but then I couldn't have flipped Nissa. Because if I played the land, that's my only land for the turn. And then Nissa couldn't flip without sacrificing Steve. And I really don't want to sack Steve this turn, I don't think. I'd like to make 4/4. Courser Nissa, also good. Helps you clear stuff off. get a lot of hits towards a Terminus next turn. Until Jace dies to this Mantis Rider, that is. Yep. It's a pretty good one to get. This is good, clean value, chat. Who can't appreciate this value? Even a Magic player, if you don't appreciate this value. I've got Celestial Colonnade that can block now too. Things are looking pretty good for our hero. I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle the top of my deck. I don't really want that. Next turn, I don't really want to draw it with Opt. If I'm like a Terminus, I might go ahead and just do that. Blessed Alliance, also decent. And remember, Rod, if you decide the mattress isn't for you, and this was one of the big reasons, like, after actually using the mattress myself, like, they have a 90-day guarantee, so, like, if you sleep on it and you decide, like, this isn't for you, you can send it back and get your money back. There's really, if you have $1,000 to spend on a bed, like, there's very little risk associated with trying out the Lisa. I'm gonna go ahead, try and trade my creature land for this Mantis Rider. It's gonna be hard for me to not be impressed. We stabilized pretty well here. We're like one more Planeswalker away from just like running away with it pretty easily. We have like, the point of the Planeswalkers in this deck are basically like build your own personal Howling Mine rates. Just like play a bunch of cards that draw you extra cards every turn. Yeah, Kitesail Freebooters, like whatever. Celestial Colonnade keeps that in check pretty well. I think I'm actually just gonna go ahead and path this Thalia's Lieutenant in response. That one's kind of getting big. Like, you can keep my Opt until I find a Terminus. At some point, one of my 4 Terminus is going to be on top of my deck. Sure. Yep, I agree. Game feels incredibly hard to lose. Anytime you get to activate Planeswalkers many times as we have, you're not like close to being dead, like the game is over. And just like classic opponents playing the aggro deck and beating us down and like has used 8 more minutes off of the clock than I have. God, the things that I would give for Auto Tapper and the Magic Arena clock on Magic Online, I'd give a lot for those things, chat. I'd give a lot to have those things. Sure, take one of my cards. The Terminus is coming, opponent, and when it does, prepare yourself Prepare yourself. Up, done, up. My day's been swell, Mingleton. Christy and I went and looked at a couple more houses this morning that had open houses. We've been looking around for the last month now or so. And we took the kids out to lunch. Now we're hanging out, streaming a little bit. Nice chill day. It was starting to snow when we were driving home, so good to be in for the afternoon and the evening, I think. And they can't attack. None of their creatures can attack through Celestial Colonnade. They have one card in their hand. They can cycle this Horizon Canopy, but like they have nothing after that. Like, the Terminus is going to get rid of our Courser, oh no, but... we're just like going all in. Just like recognizing the fact that they can't beat anything and just like putting all the chips on the table. An inch was enough to close your university? Where do you live? That doesn't close nothing around here. Okay, yep. This afternoon should be a nice chill stream. I'd be surprised if we even get up to like 500 viewers. Would ya look at that, chat? Found my forev. Bye, friends. MTGO needs a reverse concede button. Yeah, I think we'll have a lot of that. People watching the event, but like in here too because there's so many commercials. And even just like Paper Magic just has so much downtime. Like after watching so much arena content and like playing so much arena, the amount of shuffling and sideboarding, it takes forever. And like, God bless the commentators that like do their best to fill the downtime, but there's just so much downtime even when there's actual Magic going on. Especially in Modern, right? Like there's a lot of time when you're watching a Modern event where like the players spend more time mulliganing and sideboarding than they do actually playing the game. Just like turn 3 card and all right, we're done here. Well, to be fair, I think there's a lot of places right here people don't know how to drive in the snow, and these are just like places that aren't equipped to deal with snow. So like people that come from Chicago are like, oh, I know how to drive in the snow. It's like, well, you know how to drive in the snow when the roads are like salted and plowed, sure. But like if there aren't salt and plows on the roads, an inch of snow is a lot. Like, can cause a lot of issues. Yeah, the actual explanation is that people can't drive in the snow, and that occasionally we clean the roads and then people get lucky. Yeah, everywhere is not the Midwest. Especially like, and even just like living where I do now in central Illinois versus the Chicagoland area. Like the Chicagoland area is very, very good at snow removal. They get in and they get out and they do not dick around. They are quite fantastic at what they do. Turned off the GP stream if they got 6 card text wrong in 2 rounds. That's, you know, it's probably tough to find people that play Magic that are willing to commentate. Yeah, Minnesota, Milwaukee, I'm sure a lot of those places, Chicago and north of there, are probably pretty good at it. Like, lives depend on it in the most literal sense, right? I once drove from Kansas City to where I live in Bloomington, mid-blizzard. It was not a pleasant experience. Would never recommend doing it again to anybody. A drive that's normally 6 hours took us almost 13. So this gets me double blue. I have another blue here. Blue da ba dee da ba da ba dee da ba dee da ba why hi. Blue this house with the blue little window. Boo doo 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 doo. When people ask what kind of music I listen to, there's the answer to your question. Terrible music is the answer to your question. Enjoy the Terminus. I guess they could take the Teferi here. Teferi happens a lot sooner than Terminus. Like, Teferi 6 mana and Terminus is 7, so it's like they're both pretty far off. Baby Drake, do do beep beep ba doo. This Courser of Kruphix is about to be incredibly good on this board. Just like gonna gain us points of health and effectively like soft remove the Thalia. Sakura-Tribe Elder just like looking good, getting us to this Courser a turn sooner. Is about to Meddling Mage my Courser. And the opponent's plate has used their Aether Vial and their Meddling Mages really well this match. So they waited to do the Meddling Mage during our draw step because they wanted to see if we were going to Miracle a Terminus. Because if we were going to Miracle a Terminus, they then wanted to name Terminus with Meddling Mage. So good sequencing on their parts for sure this match. They sequenced really well in game 1 too. So I assume we're only getting attacked for 3 here, because if they send in the Meddling Mage, I'll get to eat it with Snapcaster Mage. I guess they could have Reflector Mage in their deck. I can just try this again next turn if that's the case. Pretty happy with this trade. Kind of surprised this happened. Being the bigger deck in those types of games is generally favorable. So like the slightly bigger deck usually wins. What? I say what? Okay. I'm so confused. OP was a bit too frisky to smork. It's almost like they heard me say their sequencing was really good and then decided to kick the ball in the other direction. Alright, so we hit for 2 here. Next turn I get to play this Mind Sculptor and put this Terminus on top of my deck. Just like, it's good clean live in. They also might be rushing because they're pressed for clock. Like, once upon a time my opponent was down 8 minutes on clock. They're now down 12 minutes on clock. Like, just moto things. They have another freebooter. That's rough. Yep. I'm gonna plus here. It's just where they need a Mantis Rider or They need a Mantis Rider or something else to kill this Jace this turn. Hit the Mantis Rider. Tilt. Alright, they don't have another human to make their lieutenant larger, though. So here's the question. Do I leave this Jace on top, or do I Field of Ruin during my upkeep to shuffle it and try and hit a Terminus? I guess I can Jace and plus Jace again. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that, actually. Just like, him sitting there gaining me health is fine. You think I Brainstorm? I guess he's guaranteed dead either way. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. So I get to put this back, play this. Lets me set up Courser of Kruphix real nice, too. So we'll fetch at their end of turn. This Aether Vial not being on 2 is really good for us, because it means there's no Kite Sail, Freebooter, or Meddling Mage surprises in our future. So we're going to 13. Jace is going to dead. I'll fetch another Hallowed Fountain. Sure. And this is why, this is a good example of why when people talk about like these blue-white decks like being the low variance choice in Modern, like these games are still very swingy with this style of deck in my experience. Like you just watch this game of Magic, right? Just like the entire game, like the only thing that matters is can I draw Terminus? People don't enjoy current Modern because Humans isn't a deck that everybody plays. There's a bunch of decks in Modern that aren't Humans that see a ton of play. Come on. Come on. I guess I'm not dead on board yet. I get one more look with an op next turn, and then I get a draw step. I do only have 3 Termini in my 41 cards, because there is one hanging out under this Kite Sail Freebooter. When I hear people complain about Modern, it usually doesn't involve humans. It usually involves decks like Tron and Dredge. Decks that just create really, really pretty rancid games of Magic. That is not how Oust works. Yeah, I could have ousted the freebooter. Maybe that was right. Man, I got really excited there for a second. How much am I getting attacked for here? A lot. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I just take this hit. I think I want the Courser to be able to help me impact my top of my deck here, because I just need to find Terminus. Yeah, I decided that I didn't want to go to Milwaukee at the last minute. Gosh, what a skill-intensive game of Magic the Gathering my opponent and I have played. What an engaging and interesting and skill-testing game of Magic. Good news, they probably can't win. They probably can't win with what's left on the clock. And actually, this is at 0, so I can actually just let this happen. And I could do this in response to a Kite Sail or a Meddling Mage. because there's no Aether Vial to mess with me. So this way they can't attack me with a Mantis Rider this turn. Their clock is at 1:50, and I'm at 13 minutes and 50 seconds. So what is their clock at? Not enough. Do they know I have this opt? I think they know I have this opt if they've been paying attention. I have a response. It's a miracle! Bye, friends. Timing out the aggro deck. It doesn't really matter what type of deck your opponent's playing on Magic Online. They're mostly all slow. People just don't auto-yield enough is the big issue. Like, if you look at my opponent's triggers, they, like, haven't been auto-yielding to, like, Kite Sail freebooters and stuff like that, and just ends up adding up. Like, I was getting back another Terminus and a Teferi there, and there was, like, a Gideon on top of my deck, so we're a pretty strong favorite to win from there. Even without their clock being a consideration. I think with the clock, we're a lock to win there, but even without the clock as a consideration, getting back Teferi and another Terminus means that we're just going to bury them. What match should I concede? Dredge. This decks like this don't beat Dredge. You couldn't really beat Dredge before they had Creeping Chill, and with Creeping Chill, you just never do. It's fine. Not amazing, but fine. This is my preferred iteration of this archetype. We haven't played this deck much recently, but we've played it a bunch in the past, and we, like, iterated on it a little bit. We had, like, a 5-0 and some 4-1s with it earlier this year. It's one of the many decks you can find on my website in the fan favorite section. Played a bunch of leagues at this point with it. Oh, yeah, that's fair. I probably should have done it during their upkeep, you're right. I wasn't thinking about Sin Collector, I was just thinking about Meddling Mage. I should have done it during their upkeep. You're right, I definitely gave them the out of Sin Collector to punish me there. A good thing to point out. Chuck this in. Maybe I should just put this into play tapped. I guess there aren't a lot of 2s I want to negate here. Although I could Miracle Terminus after they play a Dark Confidant or a Tarmogoyf, so that's reason to shock it in. Alright, I've convinced myself I want to shock it in. We've not played Green Stomping since Pel Collector arrived on stream. We played it a bunch. We played it a few times pre-Pel Collector, though. Pretty confident that card goes into that deck. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep this, because it puts an extra card in my bin, making my logic not better. We're just going to be blue-white control. Yeah, I'm going to bottom that. We have a lot of lands in our deck. It's a good rip. Do I even want to play it, though? I don't think I do. I think I'm going to play this and get a forest. Main deck Fulminator Mage. What a savage. No, it's not Neckbeardo. Oh, they could be Living End. They could totally be Living End and not Jund. That's a good read. That's a good read that they could be Living End and not Jund. Huh. It makes me want to put Gideon into play. This Negate is real good if they're Living End. Assuming they don't Living End us this turn. They could go like cycle, Living End. Yeah, good read on the Living End, Quillman. That did not go through my head. It's been a while since I've played against this deck. Even just putting 2 things into play here is pretty good. I guess Gideon checks the horror of the broken lands, so it's like less good. And like if they Stone Rain me, it's like whatever. I'll eventually hit more lands. If they don't Stone Rain me, I get to Teferi next turn. So like What did they really accomplish here, right? They like stone rained me, like okay. Like whatever. I get to get a forest with this Field of Rune, and then I get to untap and play Nissa and get another forest, hold Negate up still. Hit a land naturally, I can play Teferi next turn. Gross. Yep. John Ponza. Just keep putting hats on that one. The horror in the hat. I did not go to Milwaukee. Decided against it. I'm gonna go to the Invitational at the end of the month, and that'll probably be our last competitive tournament for a long time. Just gonna move along with my life. I mean, I was never planning to wear a costume to Milwaukee. That was never part of the plan. Never forget, chat. If Magic stops being fun, you should stop playing. So, play the matches that are fun. Don't play the ones that aren't. Life's too short for your fun hobby to feel like a job. If I win the Invitational and queue for the Pro Tour, as somebody who doesn't win tournaments, I don't have to worry about things like that. We are looking at costumes. I need to take a peekaboo. Oh, is this Ponza? Do I just get to not play the last one too? Sweet. All right, so we had 2 good matches in there, and then we had 3 matches that were matches of Modern with the control deck. This deck's neat. I think it has a bunch of matches in Modern that kind of suck, that you're just going to die, and that's true with a lot of decks. I think these control and mid-range decks have a little bit more matches where they just die than some others, but that's just, it's just how it goes. All right, onward.